This is a Troy-Bilt Storm 2410 that I bought last year. Was having an issue getting it started. I did a longer video showing you how to take off the carburetor and clean it and put it back on, but in most cases you won't have to do that. So this video might help you out, save a lot of time. First, if you're having a problem getting it started and it's a relatively new unit, it's probably the ethanol gas that you're using is clogging the jet in the carburetor. So siphon out the gas out of your gas tank and then come down here. You'll see there's a brass bowl underneath the carburetor. This bolt right here, these are 10mm bolts. You can use a ratchet to remove both of those. But first remove this one and drain out any gas out of here. If there's no gas in there, that could be a sign that your jet's clogged and you're not getting any fuel into the system. So drain that first, and then you will remove this bolt, and that will let the whole brass bolt come off of the unit. And then there is a screw in the center, which I'll show you in a minute after I take that off, and you'll be able to see there's two components that will come out right above that. So okay, I removed the brass bowl, and you can see what it looks like right there on the ground. I have a flathead screwdriver. There's a shaft after you take that off, as you can see right there, and the white ring around it, that's actually a float that goes up and down when there's fuel in there. In the middle of that center, the shaft, there's actually a flathead screw that we'll use to unscrew the small brass fitting, and then there's a larger brass piece in there. That's the jet that needs to be cleaned out. So you can see right under there, that's the piece. And I don't know if I can get a good angle of this while I'm unscrewing it. I'll try. I'm gonna put this down. So this is what came out. We have a brass screw here, and then you have this long jet piece that needs to be cleaned. There's a bunch of holes in that. I'll bring that inside and show you what that looks like. All right, here are the two brass pieces. The bottom screw just has a hole in it, and you just want to pass a sewing needle through that, make sure it's clear. And then you can put that in a bowl of carburetor cleaner. That's what I have there. And then you have the longer jet, which has a whole bunch of holes in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's holes 90 degrees to each other, and the shaft is hollow. So you want to clean that. You want to go through every one of these little holes. There you can see I'm going through the hole, make sure that's clean. When I originally took this out, all these little holes were clogged. So you're going to just make sure you get through each way on every one of those holes, and then you want to pass it all the way through the shaft. Now when you take out that brass screw, this brass jet piece might be stuck inside. Hopefully it's not, and it'll just drop out, but you might have to reach up with a thin Phillips head screwdriver and reach up and kind of coax it out of that shaft. So most likely this piece will come out. If not, you can watch the other video I have that shows you how to take the whole carburetor apart. Again, I'll put this in some carburetor cleaner and let that soak, and then I'll show you how to put it back in the unit and start it up. All right, there's the brass jet and the brass screw that go back in, and that's the way they go back in. So here we've got, I'm going to put this piece first, goes up in the shaft, and then this brass screw piece goes in next with the flathead part sitting out straight. And then we're going to take our flathead screwdriver and we're just going to screw that back in. You make that go all the way until it's tight. Then we'll put the brass bowl back on. All right, that's on, that's tight. Keep going. So now we have, all right, before we put the brass bowl back on, there's a black rubber O-ring that you can see right there. That's pretty important how that seats into the bottom of the carburetor. So I'm going to take off this plastic panel just to show you what that looks like. This comes off very easy. There's two screws on this side and two on the other side, which I'll show you right here. One up high and one down low. And then you put this right in the center, so this, when you take this plastic cover off, this will slide out right through it. There's a little notch for that. speed adjustment there. Okay, I unscrewed that panel just so you can see it a little better. So I'm just going to pull this off. Comes right off. And then I'm going to stick it up over here so it's out of the way. So I just stuck something to hold that up so you can see better underneath now. Underneath here you'll see where the rubber gasket goes. I'm going to put some Vaseline on this O-ring so it sticks in that track nice and easy. Going all the way around that with it. And then you take that O-ring, if you can see under here good now. I got a light up, shined up in there. That O-ring's gonna go right up in that track right there. Kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'm gonna try to do it. Almost got it. Make sure it's all the way in that track. That's got it. I don't know if you can see that. Should be good. Now we're ready to put the brass bowl back on after I got that O-ring in place. I'll try to show you how that goes. So you want to line up this other bolt so you can drain it out. You can turn that so it's facing out a little bit, like that. And then you take this bolt up in here. Get that snugged up. And we'll tighten that down with the ratchet. Make sure that's nice and tight up against that O-ring. Make sure this fuel bolt is tight. And that's got that back in place. Now I'm just going to put the plastic cover back on, which I'll bring down here. I just put the cover back on, and last thing is put this knob in here. Got that snapped back in, ready to put some gas in and see if this thing fires up. Alright, I put some gas in the tank. Let's see if this thing starts up. And make sure you got that on run and throttle on full, and prime that a couple times, and read the description if I add any comments on the YouTube video. And here we go. Alright, running good. Hopefully this video helps you out, and my last comment would be just to run the fuel out at the end of the season. You won't have this issue next year. Thanks for watching.